20th century performer and humanitarian Marian Anderson was groundbreaking in her career, and the National Marian Anderson Museum highlights the singer's legacy.
Talk about the genesis of the museum and how it all came together.
It's quite significant. It was her home, her hub, her oasis, where she lived for over 75 years.
Her protege, Lady Blanche Burton Lyles, purchased the South Philly home in 1995 and turned it into a museum.
So that women and men and children from all over the world could come and understand Marian, who she was, her life, appreciate her story.
Currently on view is Marian and the Philadelphia Story, a tale that begins at the start of her birth in 1897.
The beautiful tour starts in music room number 1. We see Marian's birth, her birth certificate, so rare. Most births for African Americans were at home with midwives, but she had a birth certificate. We see the beginnings and the buildings of City Hall. Right in 1900 is City Hall being built.
It's like a history lesson. You're like walking through time.
The centerpiece of the room, however, was one of her most prized possessions.
The historic Steinway piano was quite a gem.
She played this very piano for music legends like Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald.
They were all here, were breathing their rarefied air. What better history lesson could you get with music included?
And as the early stages of her musical career developed, so did her sense of style.
All right, Gillian, let's talk fashion now, because in this room there's a number of wonderful gowns that Marian wore.
This copper gown was one of Marian's greatest treasures.
She wore it while finishing up her first United States Midway Tour experience.
After you.
And as we head upstairs, visitors can explore the treasure room showcasing some of her performances. And the middle room centers on the relationship she had with her mother.
And now we're making our way into what would have been Marian's bedroom. This room sheds a great light on Marian and the wonderful relationships that she had with Philadelphians that also made a difference at the time.
The room also highlights Marian's contributions to CHOP and the Mann and Dell Music Centers.
And you don't realize how philanthropic she was until you really come into this room and see just how many people she touched.
So many wonderful cultural and humanitarianistic aspects of why we have the things we have today.
The museum also has a scholar artist program, and they host concerts and performances throughout the year. The museum is open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And it would be a wonderful tribute to Marian for people to care enough to support her living musical legacy and the museum and the scholar artist program.